to Let's Build Willow Creek. Um, we are actually here with a new family. Ignore this guy right here, like ignore him. He's just some random townie chatting to my sim, which is pissing me off, but you know, it is what it is. But actually let me go into live mode real quick because I cannot remember their names. But right here we have, come on, go to her. Sorry. Let me just reset her. Thank you. Julian, go here. Okay, so we've got Eliana Cho. She is of Vietnamese descent. In fact, she's Vietnamese. And this is her son, Julian Cho. Now, Eliana is a single mother, and that is because her husband actually died in a fishing accident. He was a fisherman, it's what he loved to do, he was interested in it, and it provided a fair amount of money, considering they were, well, a fair amount of money in busy seasons, where the fish, and whenever the fish actually, were caught. But it made a decent-ish amount of money. I mean, they weren't swimming in cash, pun intended, but they 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 could survive and live somewhat comfortably. But yeah, her husband died in a fishing accident. There was like this weird freak storm. The ship capsized, and there's so many other men that were trapped. And he went in and he dove in like several different times and pulled people out. And well, eventually, he dove in one more time, and well, he didn't come back up. And that's kind of sad because I'm a sucker for angst. But, of course, sweet little Julian here, he idolized his papa. He did. And, he wants to be a fisherman just like his dad, but of course his mother will not hear anything about that. She's like, being a fisherman is what killed your dad. That's why he's gone. Do you want me to not only lose your father, but lose you? How could you do this to me? And so, you know, she's not very fond. She's not a big fan of that plan. Now we have here the owner of this trailer park, which the name of I will tell you shortly when I see it, and therefore can remember it, is Mr. James Wimsmouth. Now, Mr. James Wimsmouth, well, actually, Mr. James Wimsmouth the Third, if you're asking, is a very, how do I say this? He's a very unique sim. He's very different. He's odd, to say the least. He came by his fortune from his father. His father was a very, very famous circus performer, and while James Wimsmouth the Second was a big fan of the circus life and loved entertaining, Mr. James Wimsmouth the Third is not a very big fan of, well, circus life. He lived it his whole life. He's not very fond of it. However, he would love to be a bodybuilder. Bodybuilding seems to be his calling. Now, his father, luckily, wasn't very much so one of those, you will follow in my footsteps or you will starve to death. I will see to it. He was not one of those. He was like, oh, you want to become a bodybuilder? Well, by all means do so, as long as you understand the risks and rewards of your profession. But before you do, just as I have done, just as your grandfather have done, please try to find some alternate form of business and income. Not because I don't believe in you. I do, my son. I believe in you deeply. But it is always good to have a plan B and something to give you a little extra money here and there while you wait and climb the ranks. You never know when you're going to need that little bit of money to help you out with something, or an emergency happens. And so his father gave him about 100,000 simoleons, and he's like, and so he decided to not only, well, he actually gave him 150,000 simoleons, but he used the 50,000 simoleons to buy the land and put the trailers here in. And we ourselves are about to, furnish everything and decorate it and everything. But he's got about 100,000 left over, and he is deciding that he's going to put the last finishing touches into the homes. He's going to let all of his tenants decide what they want their homes to look like, and he will pay for this. And the thing is, now Mr. Whimsmouth, yes, Mr. Whimsmouth, he is a very, very kind gentleman as well. He's very kind. He's a little mischievous at times. He can be a little pain in the ass when he wants to be, but he's a very sweet man. See, Ileana over here, after her husband died, well, she had to pull in triple shifts at the job she was at, and quite frankly, the owner of the restaurant she was working at was just, oh my lord, he was a piece of work, a real piece of work. If he was a real person, I'd knock his teeth out. Oof. Just thinking about that man. He doesn't even exist. I haven't even created him yet. I don't know if I'm going to create him, because I don't think we should create people with that much audacity, but you know what? Anyway, we are with she eventually was not getting paid what she should have been paid, and well, because of that, she fell behind on a couple months' rent. And of course, the landlord of the apartment she was living at in San Myshuno was very much so one of those "give me my fucking money" kind of landlords. "Oh, you're starving? I don't care" kind of landlords. Honestly, I hate those kinds of landlords. I hope all of those types of landlords burn in oblivion. Lord have mercy. I need to calm down. I might give myself a heart attack. But yeah, and she found herself on the streets. Her landlord's like, "You've got a week to get out of my building." And so she looked everywhere. She was desperate. She was trying to find anything and everything, but she wasn't trying to be super picky. She understood her situation. She couldn't be picky, but she wanted to ensure that her son was not around any areas or neighborhoods where there's crime, because she's terrified. She's like, "He's a young boy. He's naive. He's innocent." And well, what actually happened is Mr. Whimsmouth was, he was a guest at a sweet little Julian's school, and Julian seemed very sad, and he's like, "Why are you sad, young man?" And Julian is like, "We got about 3 more days before we get out of our apartment, and Mama still hasn't found any place, and she's getting scared, and I'm scared because we don't have a car, because this is The Sims 4 and they don't have cars, and I don't know where we're going to live. Mama says I might have to go to a care place. I don't want to go to a care place. I want to stay with my mama." And of course, that touched Mr. James's heart. And Mr. James was like, "Oh, you poor boy, you poor lad. You know what? I've got it here." And he gave him his flyers. Like, "Tell your mama that there's a trailer park that is opening, and it's a good trailer park. She won't have to worry about holes or roof caving in or crime. She will just have to pay about 300 a month in rent, and she doesn't have to pay it immediately, just when she gets a job and when she can. And just tell her to give me a car, come by or something." And he's like, "Oh, thank you. I'll tell my mama." And so he did, and that's why they're here. You can tell I like stories. But yes, Mr. James Whimsmouth is a very, very sweet man. Now, we're going to move to the other tenants, the two other tenants in this little small trailer park. And that is, as you can see, they're very, very sad for very valid reasons. Now this is Wisteria Hemlock. She's a teen girl, alright. And this is her little sister, Lucy. Now, just very, very recently, like extremely recently, Wisteria and Lucy here have lost their parents. Let me see, I got their parents on their Simology. Hope it didn't show their father, but I've got his Got his grave in here somewhere. Hold on, let me pull out his grave. Walker and Willow. Now, their mother and father, Walker and Willow Hemlock, they recently died. And honestly, it wasn't of anything natural, and it wasn't in anything as tragic as an accident. It was murder. It was horrendous, horrendous murder. And I know, and I'm going to show you the culprit right now, so you can hate her just as much as I do. Lord have mercy, I'm so dramatic. The killer of Walker and Willow is Meredith Nightshade, Willow's younger by 2 minutes sister. She was so jealous of everything that Willow and Walker had because, you know, they had money. Now, she doesn't really care for children. She hates children. She didn't care about the fact that they had children. But they had money, they had prestige, they had a fancy house. And Meredith hated that. She also hated the fact that Willow was their mother's favorite child, and as well as their father's. And she hated that as well. She also hated that Willow was typically, especially in their childhood, she hated that she was the better mage, that she was the stronger mage and spellcaster. She hated it. She loathed it. It was something she disliked with her entire body, entire person. And so, just a few nights ago, Meredith killed Willow. And while Walker was out walking, she killed him too. She set them on fire. Sadly for sweet, sweet Wisteria here, she witnessed her father's death. At least the end parts of it. And even worse thing to happen was Meredith had somehow gotten a hold of Wisteria's parents' will. And it said that Willow had given everything to her sister Meredith, which I'm going to go ahead and tell you is absolutely not true. She left everything to her daughters, in the case of her death, as did her husband. Well, sweet Wisteria here knows that something is horribly wrong. She knows that her aunt had something to do with her mother and father's death. And, well, let's just say she knows that if she were to stay around, that there's a likelihood she could harm her, or even worse, harm her little sister. Because Wisteria here is a spellcaster, just like her mother. Now, sweet Lucy is not a spellcaster at all. She is as human as they come. She did not inherit her mother's spellcasting skills. But Wisteria did, and so Wisteria hopes to become strong enough as a mage to one day battle her aunt and get revenge for her family. But first, she has to take care of her little sister, which means she's got a job as a babysitter. I think, yeah, babysitter, and her hours are horrendous. They're 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Now, this means that while focusing on taking care of her sister, she's also had to drop out of high school. Let's see what her moodlets are. She's got mourning for witnessing the death of a loved one. She's, am I good enough? From fear of disappointing parents. Sweetie, they're dead. You can't disappoint them. They're dead. But she's like, their disappointed sighs and head shakes could be felt in the whole house. Wisteria isn't good enough for them, and it's making her uneasy. My love, they're dead. They're not disappointed in you. And then she's got looming anxiety from fear of disappointing her parents. And then, of course, she's surrounded by friends. Now she grabbed her little sister and she ran from her aunt. She hopes to God that, you know, her aunt doesn't find them. And while she was out and about, and it was cold at the time, it wasn't yet summer, and it was a very cold spring night, and Mr. Whimsmouth found them. And he was like, "By Jove, you poor thing, you're freezing. Your little sister's as blue as the lazuli. Come on, into my house, let me warm you up." And he did. He got them in the house where there was, you know, heating, and he made sure they didn't get frostbite, and they were fed, and of course sweet little Lucy simply said thank you before falling asleep on his couch, which he didn't mind. In fact, he let the girls stay in his room for the night. He's like, "You know what, you girls have probably seen some form of hell. By all means, just sleep in my room. I'll get the couch. It's no big deal." And so they slept in his bed in his room, while he slept on the couch. And the next morning he made sure that they were fed and warm, and he got them a few shirts and some coats. And sweet Wisteria, he was like, "I can't repay you." And he's like, "My goodness, child, no, don't even think about it." And but she did. She told him her story. She opened up about it, and she's just like, "I'll be an adult soon. In about 2 weeks, I think I'll be an adult. I think she'll be an adult in 2 weeks. Let me see. Just about. Oh, that's James. That's James. Sorry, Mr. Whimsmouth. You're not a teenage girl. She'll in 20 days, so just a little over 2 weeks, she'll be an adult." And she's just like, "I just need to make it to adulthood. I've already dropped out of school. We don't have anywhere to live. I don't know what I'm going to do." And he's like, "I have an extra unit, you know. Why don't you stay there? You and your sister. She can go to school. It'll be good for her. You'll have shelter and food and water and electricity and everything else you need. You won't have to worry about the thing." And honestly, Wisteria, she wasn't in a place to deny him, but she's like, "Okay, but only on the condition that I am allowed to help you with whatever you need help with at times, if I can." And he's like, "Oh, absolutely, I'll let you do that. You've got that stubborn look in your eye." So, can you tell that I'm excited about this? Because I am super excited about this. This is my cheese and crackers. This is my bread and butter. I love storytelling. I can never do it in a Let's Play, because every time I try a Let's Play, I've got to do, like, I'm playing with the sim as they're doing things, and I've got to set up all the drama, and I'm just like, well, damn. But with this, I can tell all the juicy gossip and not panic. Now, I'm going to just quickly pull out all the pictures of her folks so that I can, like, you know, put them on the walls in her house. So I'm going to just do that just right quick. I'm not going to stop recording because I'm live streaming, because this makes it easier so that I don't have to edit. Oh, Lord, do you know how much I hate editing? Oh, I loathe it. Okay, that's an awful one. I loathe editing. Like, I loathe it. Like, I don't want to do it ever. If I had an editor, I'd have an editor doing my editing. But, I don't. I'm a disabled American who cannot work and has very little income. So, there we go. There we go. Alrighty. Now, we are going to start in the girls' home, because I've been itching, just itching to do their home. I'm super excited. Now, the name of this trailer park is the Springs and Trailer Park. Very unique, I know. And its traits are cat hangout, great soil, and natural light. Now, I've actually had a little storyline for this cat hangout trait. It's kind of sad because I'm an angsty person. And that is, this is a very poor area. I know it doesn't look very poor. Like, ignore that. I'm going to be working on that later. I like to do some things off screen, so you're not going to see, like, everything, but Yeah, I'm working on that. But I know this doesn't look like a poor area, but I can't help. I don't know how to make things look, super super messy and run down, except for like on the insides and stuff. And I'm still working on these other houses, but this is a very poor area, and but this is like a very poor area, and of course I live in a relatively poor area myself. Like, we're not rich. We're not super, super poor, but we're not rich by any means. And we're not even, I would say we're closer to the lower, lower middle class area. Like, extremely low. Like, just like one inconvenience away from poverty. Um, but, and where I live, sadly, there are some people who will at the top of my street, you'll have boxes of kittens show up suddenly, or around, oh no, there's a new cat, because people dump their cats on the sides of the streets and the roads here, and it's awful. I do my best to tend to them, tend to feed them. I can't, oh, for the life of me, I can't let the poor things starve. I am not equipped to take each and every one of them to the vet, which breaks my heart. I feel awful about it. But the most I can do for them is feed them and make sure that they don't die immediately, or make sure that they're not suffering. But that's about as much as I can do, and all of the shelters in my area are at max capacity. If I show up with cats, they will turn them away. I know this because I've done it. And they're like, we're sorry, we have no room. We don't have the supplies for more. We don't have the room for more. So, yeah, donate to your local shelters, you know, so that they can expand, get more supplies. Let me take a sip of my water. But I like to think that there are people who will dump their cats near this road, and the cats just find their way down here. And you know what Mr. Whimsmouth does when he sees a cat? He feeds it, he pets it, and since he's got money, he takes it to the vet to get them fixed. I like that man. I think he's one of my favorite Sims. But yes, I wanted to start with the girl's house because I've been so excited to do their house. Now, since these are relatively newish units, I mean, there's going to be some rundown parts where there's like a lot of use. So I'm just gonna do this. And I like to think that, what's that? Wisteria has given herself the smaller room because she wants to give her little sister the best. I also think that Wisteria, I mean, she of course, she asked Mr. Whimsmouth, and Mr. Whimsmouth like, of course, darling, do whatever you want, just don't burn down my house, please. Asked if she could repaint and put some, molding on the walls. And he was like, oh, absolutely. I don't really like that. I mean, I want one with molding, but I don't like that color. Let's see if there's any others. And she's like, oh, I just want my little sister to have the best. And he's like, oh, absolutely, darling, absolutely. No, not quite. Yes, because this seems like something like these bright ass colors seems like something a small child would most certainly pick. So with the little bit of money she had from working, and she saved up for it, of course, she was able to get some paint for her little sister's room. And Mr. Whimsmouth is like, not only shall she have paint, but she'll have brand new carpet. And she's like, but Mr. Whimsmouth, you're already doing so much for us. He's like, oh, pish posh. So, now I like to think that she, Now he knows that these units are rather cheap. But none of his tenants really care that they're cheap because it's a roof over their heads. And he's such a kind man that if something goes wrong, he does his best to fix it. No one's starving to death or, you know, freezing in his, on his watch. He's too sweet for it. Let's see. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, I'm gonna shift this a bit. There we go. There we go. But yes, I like to think that he's just like, absolutely, paint your room any color you want. Do whatever, just, you know, don't demolish anything. Please don't set the house on fire. That would be not good for anyone. And she's like, I don't plan on setting it on fire. Now, I don't think she knows how to cook real well. Like, I think, like I said, these units are probably, like, super cheap. And, set that there for now. But I think these units are super cheap, and he, and thus he worries about his tenants a bit. I mean, he makes sure that they're not, I mean, they're cheap, but they're not like, oh my god, if something goes mildly wrong, they're all gonna die cheap, you know what I mean? But yeah. Now, I do think the girls have done their best to try and make the place look lovely as they can, you know? Like, it doesn't really matter whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you've got a lot of money or not. Everyone wants their home to feel like a home. And sometimes that means sprucing things up or buying things people are like, oh my god, that's so useless. Why did you do that? And I'm like, because, Brenda, I have very little else that makes me happy in this world, and I'm gonna do things that make me happy. I deserve happiness. And honestly, that is something all of you need to remember, and that is that you deserve happiness. Say it with me, you deserve happiness. If anybody says differently, well, I would say hit them with a brick, but I've been told that saying that is highly illegal in some places, so I'm just gonna say use some very, very, very aggressive words. Can you tell that I'm not one for advice? Goodness. But I think they spruced up everything the best they can. Now, I'm gonna put this in here for now. Just sit that there so I don't forget it. But as well as this so I don't forget. I'm gonna get into here, a couple of those actually. Now, I like to think that, well, I don't like to, but I think that sweet little Lucy will, well, the reason she has a nightlight is, well, it was nighttime when their parents died, and so she's scared that they died because there was a monster in the dark, which the monster's actually their aunt, that bitch. But she's scared of the dark now, and of course her older sister, she's a teenager, she doesn't know anything about parenting. She's learning her best, she's doing her best for some reason, I guess. I think, I'm not 100% sure, I'll have to check again. But apparently teenagers can't have a parenting skill. And I'm like, why not? Plenty of people plenty of people go through parentification as teenagers. In the real world, well, I'm not really, happy about that. We could, at the very least, have some parentification in the Sims world. Here we go. Yeah, that works. Mm. I mean, it's not like some of these kids are gonna become parents anyway. Let them learn early. Make my life easier. There we go. I think that's good enough. Make him match. But yes, I do think that they would... There we go. See, that makes things look better in here. Is everything the same height? No. It's about to be, probably. Now, they're gonna need a sink. But I don't think they'll have one of those in sinks. I think... Get it? In sink. But, let's see. What can I do about this? I move the sink over here. Actually. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do. You know what? We'll just turn this whole thing into the kitchen. Now it's got an alarm system. It ain't got no sprinklers, but it's gonna have a heating system too, because I like bills. Not in real life though. God, do I hate bills in real life. But use a rug. But yeah, I think little Lucy is terrified of the dark, especially after it took her parents from her. And of course, sweet Wisteria doesn't know what the hell she's doing as a parent, or as a parent figure. So, another cheap carpet to make things seem nice. Does it go? No. The girls just saw whatever pretty thing they see, they bring it home. Now, Wisteria was able to snatch one of her sister's carpets from the house that they lived in. Let me see. There we go. And honestly, Wisteria was able to snatch one of these carpets from the house on the way out. Why would she grab a carpet on the way out? I don't know. That's just where I want to say the carpet comes from. What question to me? Egg. No. We mustn't egg. Here we go. But, Wisteria's doing... Now, I like to think that Wisteria also not only works as a babysitter and does whatever odd job she can find, but I also think that she is that she works as a writer. Not in the writer career, but she'll write books. I also like to think that maybe she paints occasionally. I'm just gonna set that in there so I don't forget it, because I will. Same for this thingy. There we go. I like to think she does some things to ensure that her, you know, that they have as much income as possible. Do I have this one? No, I do not. There we go. Smoothies. So like right there, you right there, because those frames are pretty chunky. Up. Oh, actually, yeah. There we go. But I like to think that she works hard. Like super, super hard. All of the time. To ensure that her sister gets whatever it is she needs, whether it's food, water, other necessities, things for school. Doesn't matter. She's gonna make sure her sister gets it. And with Christmas coming up for them, it's unlikely that they're gonna have the Christmas that they're used to. She doesn't have the money that her parents did, and she knows that it's likely that she's not going to be able to get even one single thing that her little sister's going to want. Okay, let's get rid of these big pictures. We don't need them no more. Couple of these. There we go. But it's likely that she's not going to be able to get those things, and it kind of bums her out some. So I had to get a table. I mean, she's going to do her best to make sure that everything's nice for her sister, that they're able to get some things. But it's unlikely that they'll be able to get anything. But they don't know yet. And of course, sweet Lucy is hoping that she's been good enough this year for Santa to come by, but they don't have a fireplace, so Santa might not come by. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. You cannot tell me that those don't fit because of a doorway. Baby, don't move objects. Here we come. You're going where I want you to go. Now, well, of course, I mean, I think Father Winter will come for them. I'll move this to the side some, so that I can put that there. There. But I don't know if Father Winter will come because, you know how it goes. And, but, Lucy doesn't really, know whether or not that'll happen, and so she's trying not to hold out too much hope, which absolutely breaks Wisteria's heart. Honestly, it does. It breaks her heart. She wants her little sister to have a good Winterfest. She does, and for her possibly to not have one at all, just, oh, it destroys her. Oh, it absolutely destroys her. She does. Oh, Lord have mercy, does it destroy her? I'll put this by the front door, because they don't have a lot of space. There is another thing that they were able to salvage from the house that, their aunt's never gonna receive, even though she probably wants to receive it. And that's this plate that their grandmother gave their mother. With some fruit. Of course, they've also managed to get a hot pot or just sale at a flea market, and instead of it being 220, it was just 20. They were just like, I don't want it no more. I think this object is cursed. And the sisters are just like, this lady's weird. And guess what? Lady was just weird. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah. There we go. You know what? I'm gonna put this in the kitchen because like maybe they decide to just keep this in the kitchen because they don't have enough room in there. And they put it up here so that when they need it, they can just grab it. Okay, I like the look of that. Sinkaroonies. And finally, a mirror. I think their home is actually going to be as homey as they can make it. There's not much that they can do to make it super homey. We're going to need one of these too. But they'll be doing their best. And honestly, what else can they do? What else can they do? They're babies. They're just babies. Let's see, let's put this out here. I mean, this is going to be the main little walkway area, but you know how folk are. If you're lower middle class, and you're constantly busy, or you're in the poverty line and you're constantly busy, laundry isn't something that really gets done a lot. There. Change the color to yellow. It's not something that gets done. I don't mean it doesn't get clean. I mean, sometimes it can be struggling to get them clean, not only time, but also, maybe you're really, really struggling with a power bill, or you don't have a washer. And you don't have the change to go to the laundromat. Nah. But, I mean, like I said, getting folded and put it away. My place, for one, we have what we call... Should I go with the cat rug? Teenage girls, we're doing the cat rug. Care if it goes or not, it's a cat rug. But I think the girls, they don't... I think because they had a lot of maids and stuff, they didn't really have the knowledge on how to not only just wash laundry but fold it and stuff. But after a couple of SimTube tutorials, they figured it out. Figured it out. They did. It's like here. I'll take this and move it right there. And usually they wouldn't have the have a TV or really anything to really sit on or do anything, so Mr. Wimsmouth helped them yet again with some things. He's just a good guy, honestly. I like him. I think he's one of my favorite Sims. No. I think he found this TV. He's like, no, you children might consider this vintage, but I found this in my own storage unit, and I thought y'all might like it. Why, I keep jumping from giving him a British accent to a Southern accent. Honestly, though, we should know by now that I cannot keep up with accents. Like, at all. Like, at all. Now, oh, just your horses. I gotta... Oh, Lord have mercy. I've gotta go refill my water real quick, because I'm getting a bit parched. So I will be right on back, alright? I'll be right back. Alrighty, I am back. I'm sorry it took me a minute. I also had to check some messages and stuff. Probably gonna have to check um, the mail here in a little while soon too. I don't know. Now I do think I'm gonna add like a couple of little thingies to bang it up a bit. Just a couple of things, a couple of doodads here and there. Think maybe they had a bit of a trouble getting a couple things in, you know. Ooh, Excuse me, Lord have mercy. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to burp in y'all's ears. Does anybody else put lemon in their water? Like, you know, take a piece of lemon, slice of lemon, and you just, you know, plop it in your water and drink it? Because that is literally the only way I can fool myself into drinking water. I don't know if it's a neurodivergency thing or not, but yeah. Yeah. No, I think they do have a radio. Honestly, in this house, they would need a radio. So I don't know whether to set it up there, where to put it. So I'm just going to set it right here for now. And yeah. Now I do think I'm going to add a couple of pictures. I like to... Pink Floyd! I do like to think that occasionally they'll steal some posters from the posts from like walls and stuff they see out and about. And yeah. Oh, they need a clock. I cannot believe I forgot a clock. One cannot forget a clock. I mean, I got one on the little counter, but I don't count. Let's give him one of these. Now let's make a different color. There we go. I like that one. Oh, Lord have mercy. Now let's see. Let's go ahead and move on into the bedrooms. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to come back in here and clutter up stuff, but I want to get the gist of it done, you know? Oh, let me make sure my mama's not the one texting me, because I swear someone's texting me. Y'all can't hear it because I've got everything on silent, but I can see things, and Lord have mercy, she's the one texting me. I love you, Mama. Lord, do I love you, Mama. But I'm in the middle of stuff. I can't have you texting me every 5 minutes. I love you to pieces, Mama. I do. Alright, no, it's not my mama texting me. It's my damn... it's my damn Temu texting me. Temu, you know, that cheap shopping app on the... You can get it on Google Play, but you also just go to their website. They're pretty cheap. I don't know if they're ethical or not. I don't. I can't find nothing. I don't know if I'm just not searching right, but I do think Wisteria would shell out some hard cash to make sure her sister got a princess bed, because her little sister's a princess in her eyes, and that's all that matters. You know, I mean, you lose your mama, your little sister loses your mama. I'm an older sister. If we lost my parents and everything fell up to me, I don't know what I'd do, but I'd make damn well sure my little brother had everything he'd need. Maybe even a few things he wants. If all he wants is a new bed, God damn it, am I making sure he gets a new bed. Do anything. If I gotta go strip, if I gotta go shake some ass for some cash, I will. Lord have mercy, will I do that. Oh, Lord. The more I talk, the thicker my accent gets, especially when I'm passionate about something. Yeah, I think that's the right bed. I think I'm going to change this. Yeah, there we go. But I do think her little sister's a bit frightened of the dark, which, you know, kind of makes sense. They just lost their mama and him, and... Oh, Lord have mercy. Constellation lighting. Wisteria makes damn well sure that her little sister at least has something nice, you know. Do just about anything. Tot, quit eating your toes. I swear that cat's gonna drive me crazy one of these days. Drive me absolutely crazy. Now, of course, I had a little light. I'm gonna shrink it a bit. Put it right here. Right by our bed. No, I don't like the way that looks. Put it right at the end of her bed. Yeah, I think that works well. I think that works nice. It looks lovely. End table. But yeah, I think she worked real hard to make sure that her little sister got whatever it was that she wanted for her room. Now, it's not going to be perfect. She couldn't get everything, and her little sister understands that. They just lost everything. Lord have mercy. They did. They just lost everything. They can't get everything they want. But, now none of the maids and, the butler and them, they don't know where the girls are either, and quite frankly, Wisteria would prefer that. She'd prefer them not knowing where she is, and this is purely because they got their own families. They do. They got their own families that they gotta take care of at home. They don't need to be trying to feed 2 extra mouths. And hello, thank you for joining me. Lovely to see you. But yeah, where was I? Where would I put this? I really think that goes with that. Oop, why'd I go down that way? There we go. I think I like this one more. I'm gonna keep it close to her bed, so when she's in that school rush. I like that. Do I really like that, or am I fooling myself? I'll let it sit, and if I don't like it, well, then I can just change it. I do think Lucy likes plants, though. I think little Lucy loves her some plants, so I think her sister made sure she could get some plants inside her room. She, of course, made sure the landlord, if that was all right. The landlord's like, do whatever you want, sugar. You just lost everything in your life. If you want plants in your house, put plants in your house. As long as it's not black mold, I'm fine with whatever the hell you do. Well, he wouldn't say hell. They're little girls, He's not going to curse in front of little girls. Is that a thing in other places? Where a lot of men try not to curse in front of ladies? Or girls? Do they? Is that a thing elsewhere, or is that a southern thing? Lord forbid if it be another southern thing. I'm so tired of being unique. And I don't mean that in the like, oh my god, I'm so unique kind of way. I mean, I am so genuinely tired of being different from the majority at times, because it's genuinely stressful. Look, just because they've lost everything doesn't mean that they can't make their houses look nice. And the landlord actually helped them pay for these. Because he's just like, y'all literally just lost everything in your lives. And you're dealing with some stuff. You're going through some trauma, some spicy deja vu. You don't need more stress. You want flowers, you get flowers. I didn't even ask the man. Now, I do think sweet little Lucy likes to keep a couple of the pictures of her sister and her ma and her da. Keep them close. That way so she can see them. And of course, they let them. Her older sister lets her. I think this one's it. There we go. See, I wish we had fancier, whatchamacallits, hold on, the word are coming to me. Swear the world will come to me. The world? Oh, Lord have mercy. The word will come to me. Picture frames. I wish we could choose the picture frames. I don't mean like red wood, blue wood, red plastic. No. I wish we could pick. Do you want those Victorian-esque ones? Do you want the picture frames made of porcelain? Those. That's what I'm talking about. Since this is a child's room, we need to make sure that she has some toys. Now, she doesn't have as many as she used to. Still got Frank her mini womp womp. But there weren't much that, Lord have mercy, excuse me, that was rude of me. What was I, raised in a barn? Heaven forbid. But like I said, I do believe that, between the landlord being a sweet man, just a sweet gentleman, he's genuinely a good guy, you know. Like, he's not a quote-unquote nice guy, like, you know, one of those guys. He's just a genuine good person. And, between the landlord having a heart for him, the rest of the trailer park having a heart for him, and, well, Lucy's older sister being a stubborn bat out of hell when it comes to making sure her little sister has what she needs and, you know, a few things she wants. Now, I don't think she'd have this quite yet. Lucy's got some toys. She does. She has some toys. She's got some pretty decent toys. And her room's real purty. Her sister made sure that her room was all purtied up for her, so that she'd have some nice stuff, you know. And she's been through hell already, losing them parents and stuff, and, well, Mysteria's struggling herself, but best way she can cope for herself is to make sure her sister's taken care of. And honestly, I get it. I'm an older sibling. Lord forbid I ever lose both of my parents and have to take care of my younger brother. I can't even take care of myself, to be honest, but I think I'd do whatever is damn well necessary to ensure that my little brother got what he needed. I don't know if we'd lose the house or not. It's Mama's friend, and I know we'd lose a lot of things. Power, water, other shit. I'd figure shit out. I don't know how to figure shit out. I'd have to get a lot of help, that's for damn sure. Should I? No, I don't think she'd get those just yet. There's a little book bag. But I think I would have to do a lot of stuff. And I don't know if I'd be able to. I mean, I'd have to do it. I'd be the only one who could. Or more likely, I'd have to go up there and live with my mama. Which in that crowded house, Lord have mercy. Should I add this? No, I think that's just enough to a room. I'm getting a couple posters though. Let's see, got some game bags, stuff packs, kids room. I like to think she loves fairies. Speaking of fairies, hey, Sims team, when am I getting my fairies? Lord, I love some fairies right about now. There we go. There we go. I think her room's just lovely. I'm gonna add a shelf though, right above that art center thingy, for the illusion of growth. There we go. Couple of shelves in there. I'm gonna put one of them shelves up in here. Okay, so it's glitching through that. I don't much like that. There. Now it ain't gonna glitch no sorts of ways. Now we're gonna do her older sister's room. I think her older sister's only gonna, you know, have a very simplistic room. No, I don't think she'd have anything fancy. It's uncomfortable. Oh, hell. Cheap. This one will do. But I think she'd have just a rather simplistic bed. She's got in the corner of the damn thing, of the damn room, you know. She'll have this right chair and have it like that. Of course, she's gonna need a little small desk and computer so that she can write, you know, and find jobs and other stuff. Put it down into here. Luckily, she ain't got to go to school, so. I said luckily, loosely. She's a dropout. I'm a dropout. School decided to stop working with me. I went against the ADA, and quite frankly, and a lot of people are like, you should sue, you should sue. Oh my God, Lord have mercy on my talking. A lot of people are like, you should sue, you should sue. And I'm like, yeah, I probably should, but you know what? I ain't got the energy for it. If I had the energy to sue, I would have had the energy to finish school. But I didn't. They weren't working with me either. They're like, well, you got 3 days to make up. If you don't make up everything you missed in a week of school within 3 days. We understand she's disabled and sick and has been classified by the government as disabled. But we're not gonna help her because we've done everything we can. Yeah, right. Fuck you did. Can't we try some virtual on-school learning from there? Oh no. And then the damn pandemic hits. And I'm like, oh, couldn't do that, huh? Just wouldn't do that. Lord have fucking mercy. I'm sorry, I'm real heated about that. I'm real pissed. Now every time I try and go get my damn GED, my damn health decides to tank too, and I'm like, well, I just can't win, can I? A carpet there. Reasons skills, where's her damn measle? Also, I think she does some cross stitching. I don't think she does any singing. But I do think she'd do some cross stitching from time to time. There. No, that ain't the prettiest looking thing, but unless I can take this. Really? Can't put it up in there? Honestly. That would have been a perfect fit. What? Hell, put it in there on the floor. I'm gonna just take a couple of these. Just set them up in here. Now she does have some photography stuff in her inventory. But nothing beyond that. Now, as for her folks, because I do think they would have their urns in the house. That's a real pretty table. I should use that more often. Of course, we're gonna need some flowers. There we go. There we go. Now to do some outdoor decorations. Give me some landscaping. I think I did pretty good there. Some dirt. And there it goes. That's their little trail. Not the prettiest trail, but we're not doing pretty here. We're just doing what they can. Now they got some flowers that they done planted. Some of them have blossomed and grown. Not all of them, you crazy folks. They're teenagers, so, well, they're kids, so they just chose whatever flowers were cheapest and looked pretty. A couple of daisies, because they just threw all the seeds in there. Lord have mercy. My cat started shaking his leg to scritch at it, and I thought he was catching a seizure. Sorry. Had to drink some water because I was getting parched. And of course, you know how the thing is. When I take a drink of water, I gotta go check some things for a second. It'll only take me a minute. If it'll load. I'll do it in a minute. But, now I do want them to have some pretty fireflies. I wish there were butterfly effects, you know what I mean? I wish there were some pretty butterfly effects. Because then that would just like finish it all for me. I think I put too many fireflies. I'll keep that one there. Some outdoor activities. Let's see. I do think she would have a small little garden area. Sorry if you hear crunching. Tater Tot's eating his food. I mean, I'd rather him eat his food than not eat his food, because if a cat's not eating or refuses to eat, that's some bad signs, and you got some pretty expensive vet bills coming up. But if they're eating, for the most part, they're fine. I'll put a couple of these doodads up here. No? No, I'll put 3. That's why not. Sprinkler was originally for the garden over here, but she moved it over here for little sister. She got some water balloons for the little one. Sissy, can we get some wind chimes? $155 because we live in a really hellish inflation world. And she's like, I know, but aren't they pretty? Well, you know what? I guess they are pretty. Go ahead and put one in the cart. I think that's how that situation went. Of course, she's got her little harvesting table, and I think she'd have some bees. She's the sister who does it all. She's doing whatever it takes to get some medicine. Medicine? No, money. And to make sure her little sister. Now this swing set. This ain't the Hemlock's swing set. They don't own it. Not at all. But I think the landlord is just a sweet old man, and he decided to put it up. It's right here between all three of the houses, so you know the kids can have an eye kept on them. You know, make sure that they don't get hurt. As well as this little. That's with this doodad. It's the thought that counts, and of course. Now Wisteria has a couple things that are just for her that she likes to do. Telescope is one of them. Well, let's see what we got for clutter, because we gotta, you know, I told y'all I was gonna be finishing up that clutter and come back in and clutter some things up. Lord have mercy on my soul. Can't find nothing. Okay, there it is. I like to think that they would have some towels that they keep under there in case, you know, we needed some, as well as a box of important info. Of course, you know, they got their shoes that they take off. Shrink them down for tiny shoes. I think she has it just for her bath kit, you know. And she keeps it shrunk underneath her bed. Because just because she's out of school doesn't mean she's not keeping up with some things. Some body care essentials that she keeps up there. These kind of look like magazines, so. And a couple more doodads. She's got that. That thing goes up there. She got some cookies for little sister that she keeps up there. And I think they got themselves a nice little kettle. There. I like the way that looks. I think that looks as good as it's gonna get. Now, of course, this is only the first trailer of three total trailers. But I want to play test some things. All right, darling, go sit over here. See, let's lock for everyone but what Wisteria. Allow access to. Unlock for specific sim, actually, and we're going to do Lucy. Okay, let's see if this works. Oh, I'm also going to have to lock it for pets, so. Lock for all cats, too. She can come see it. Alright, looks like she can see it. How about over here? Okay. Let me go ahead and put these in frames. I had some frames in here. Go. Cry it out. Oh, poor thing. Alright, Sugar Cube, go, let's see if this is working. Just gonna play test everything. I'll make sure it's all good. Even if it seems, I like to make sure. Give her some privacy. Okay, so she can play with the toys. Can you go... Can you get in your bed? Yeah, you can. Okay, so it seems that everything is pretty much useful. That's good to know. Well, I would say that this has been a pretty good stream, but I am currently out of spoons. But before we go, before I say c'est la vie, we're going to purchase some seeds. Let's get some catnip, some flowers, fruits, herbs, magical plants, because why the hell not, veggies. And we're gonna have her come and garden, you know. Do 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 do. Let's see. Nap nip. Put one of those. Catnip. We'll sell that. And let's do a chrysanthemum. Get rid of the daisies though. No. Wait. Fall and spring. We're in summer. Winter. Spring. Fall and spring. Spring. Summer and spring. I'll do some taro root. And there we go. And we're just gonna have her plant everything. Gonna have this sweet little baby. We're just gonna have her go and express her melancholy thoughts, because we push for healthy coping mechanisms in this house. That is what we do. Okay, so she can go right in her thingy-majiggy. Okay, she's gonna be gardening. But yes, as I said, I think this is gonna be the perfect time to end this stream. If you like this content, let me know. Sorry for the times I did get quiet at times. It's because I was focusing. And if you want to see more of this, please, please, please let me know. Comment, like, share. It does help. It helps me feel like I'm not just talking to myself. I mean, sometimes I feel that I am, and I have talked to myself quite a lot. But I do think that this is going to be one of the best things that I do. So if y'all like this, please let me know. And I hope you all have a good day. I hope y'all are safe. And I hope y'all are doing well. Bye. And I'll see you again.